Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome, dear devotees. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3. We are currently discussing chapter number 2. The title is Remembrance of Lord Shri Krishna. Very beautiful, very sweet remembrance of Lord Shri Krishna. And today we will be starting from text number 29. Before we begin, just a quick context where we are. We saw that how Parikshit Maharaj as well as uh, the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Sanaka Rishi, started asking when this Bhagavatam was discussed. They asked, why did Vidura left home? He was attached to the family. He was used to the palace life. What was the reason for him to leave home? Where did he go? Whom did he meet? And what was the discussion? Because Parikshit Maharaj knew that the Parikshit Maharaj is a pure devotee, and whoever he met, Uddhava or the Maitreya Muni, the discussion would have been transcendental as well. And that's why the importance of Shravanam. He wanted to hear more, and that's why he is asking this question. And then third canto begins with the description how Vidura was insulted by Duryodhana. He said, toss him out of the palace, leaving him only with his breath. Vidura gave good counseling, good instruction to Duryodhana, but he didn't listen. And then he insulted Vidura instead of fighting back. He just left the bow and arrow at the door and he left the palace. He is going on a pilgrimage before the war began. And he went to Mathura, he went to Ayodhya, when he went to Dwarka. After that, he hears the news at the Prabha Kshetra and about the fratricidal war, and all the family members and the relatives have died. He continues his journey on the bank of river Yamuna. He meets Uddhava. He asks for the welfare of Krishna, Balram, and all other family members, Samba, Yudhana, Devki, and all different personalities. He laments for Dhritarashtra. And after hearing all these questions, Uddhava goes for a dead silent for some time, one muhurta. And then when Uddhava starts speaking, instead of answering one line question about Vidura that Krishna has departed from this world, he starts narrating all different pastimes. And starting from right from the appearance of Lord Sri Krishna, how he appeared in the womb of Devaki and he appeared in the jail. And the reason for this we discussed that it is very important to understand the birth and appearance and the activities of Lord Sri Krishna, then only one can understand the departure of Lord Sri Krishna from this world. Janma karma chame divyam. They are transcendental, and one cannot understand the death of Krishna or departure of Krishna from this world independently. It is very important in connection why Krishna appeared, what was the reason for him to come, what activities he performed, and when the pastimes or the purpose of his appearance was done, it was time for him to wind up. And that's why Uddhava is remembering. So the context where we are now is Uddhava's remembrance of Lord Shri Krishna at different pastimes, his activities. Right now, what we are discussing is his pastimes in the Vrindavan pastimes, how he reciprocated with the Vrindavan Vasis, what were the demons he killed, and what is happening. All right, let's start with text number 29.
Hare Krishna, Dandvat Pranam to all. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.2.9. Sa ego dhanam lakshmya niketam sita go vrisham charyanya anugan gopan ranad venur ariramad. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While herding the very beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys. Hare Krishna.
Such a sweet, amazing pastime. Uddhava is remembering about Lord Sri Krishna that while how he was herding very beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute. So three things are mentioned: how he was going, uh, taking herding the bulls, how he was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, and the third thing is he was blowing his flute. along with the cowherd boys. So three things are mentioned. And if you see Srila Prabhupada's purport, he explains all these three things one by one. So first one is about the bulls, how he was herding the bulls. Bull in the Vedic society or the Vedic civilization is compared to a father. Why? Because even in today's or the modern context, what we see is father goes out, work, and brings food on the table. He is working, and mother generally taking care of the child. So, what is happening, or what is how it is compared bull as a father? Because bull is used traditionally in olden days to uh, for farming. Before these tractors were introduced, before the machine yuga started, the bulls were used for farming. And it is said when the bulls were walking on Mother Earth, when bull is stepping and used for farming on the earth, Mother Earth is feeling like massage. And that's why Mother Earth produces so much of grain, abundant of supply. And the bull brings the grains or used for farming and brings the food. And that's why bull is compared to a father. And unfortunately, because of the invention of the tractors and all different machines and everything, the bull is not used for farming anymore. But people need milk, and the milk products, yogurt and cheese and everything. So that's why the cow needs to be pregnant. Cows needs to be have babies so that the milk and the milk products can be utilized. But while the cow has babies or cow is pregnant, the bull also appears, but not is guaranteed that only female children will be born from the cow. So the bull appears, and unfortunately, today's society or today's world, bull are considered as a waste. They don't, because they are not used for anything. No one wants to maintain them. They eat so much food. They take land. They take food as well, grass and everything, and the people cannot maintain them. That's why they considered it as waste. But in olden Vedic civilization, bull was given respect as much as the father. Because of bull, the grains were produced. Second, Prabhupada mentions about the wealth and the opulence, the good fortune. In Vedic civilization, the opulence and the good fortune was measured by how many cows a people is having, how many cows or milking cows, and that is what. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that the milk and the milk produce the ghee and the butter, and having cows in the family, that is the sign of the good fortune. What people need for the good fortune is the land and the cows, the food and the milk products, and that is what the real wealth or the real good fortune is. Unfortunately, in today's society, branded handbags and branded shoes or expensive cars and big houses, that is what people measure the good fortune or the wealth of a person. But when a person is hungry or when the food is required, no matter how much expensive handbag you have, you can't eat them. That's not going to help. How much expensive shoes you have, it's not going to help. The real wealth is the milk product of the whole country, of the whole society or the community. The wealth is the cows and the bulls, where there will be food, grains, as well as the milk products. And that's why Prabhupada is explaining about the protection for the milk or protection for the cows as well as the bulls. And the last one is mentioned is about the blowing his flute. When Krishna blows his flute, he enlivened his faithful followers, including the cowherd boys and everyone. Krishna's flute is very transcendental. It gives the transcendental pleasure. Whenever Krishna is blowing the flute, the devotees, they forget everything and they just run towards Krishna. Sometimes it is said when Krishna blew the flute, the gopis or the Vrajvasis, they were milking cows, but they forget about milking cows and they just run towards Krishna. Sometimes even the gopis or the elderly ladies as well, they have kept milk for boiling on the cooktop or the stove. But when they hears the flute, they forget that the milk is on, the heat is on, and they just run. Sometimes they are cooking, they left the cooking half the way and they run while after hearing Krishna's flute. Some of the mothers, they were feeding their children, but when they hear Krishna's flute, they forget the child, and then they forget feeding the child, and they just run towards Krishna. Even sometimes they were serving their husbands, but when they hear the flute, they leave everything. Somewhere eating, they were eating, and they, as soon as they hear the Krishna's flute, they leave the meal, half eaten, everything as it is, and they just run for Krishna. Many times, if you see in different books, it is mentioned there, ladies were putting their cosmetics, kajal aise lagate hue, and sometimes they are decorating themselves. But when they hear the half makeup is on, half is not on, but they still run for Krishna. They forget everything and they run for Krishna, not properly dressed. And that's how Krishna's flute is so transcendental. So we learn from this mood of the Brajvasis or the Vrindavan or the devotees of Krishna, how they give Krishna as top priority. When Krishna is calling, everything is on the side. The priority changes. As soon as they hear the flute, they run for Krishna. What do we learn from this pastime? Is to make Krishna as priority in our life. We may not hear Krishna flute, Krishna is calling, but Krishna is calling us by his holy name. Krishna is calling us for chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And how this Vrindavan Vasis were putting Krishna as a top priority and leaving everything else aside. In the same way, when Krishna is calling us by his holy name, we have to understand, we have to learn from this pastime is to keep Krishna as a top priority in our life. To make our chanting, whatever minimum number of rounds we are doing, as a top priority of our life. When the time comes to chant, when it's time to plan our daily schedule or the routine, Krishna's call or Krishna's holy name is our top priority. Everything else later. Eh, We don't ask, how can I fit Krishna into my schedule? कृष्णा को मेरे डेली रूटीन में कैसे फिट करूं? That is not the devotees are asking. Devotees do not ask, how do I fit Krishna into my schedule? Devotees ask, how can I arrange my schedule so that Krishna remains in the center of my daily routine. Krishna को center में रख के schedule or the routine, everything else we adjust. Not that everything else, the schedule is there, the routine is there, and we try to fit Krishna somehow, somewhere. And we try to fit Krishna means we try to fit our minimum number of chanting thereof. So we have our chanting, when we plan. Today is Monday. When we plan Tuesday, we should think this time I will wake up, this time I cook lunch or breakfast, I go to work, I come back from work. Yes, we plan, but this is my chanting. This is my 1 hour or 2 hour of chanting slot, and I will make sure everything adjusts around this. Krishna and Krishna's holy name and call of Krishna is in the center, everything else surrounded by it. That is called keeping Krishna as a priority. We have to set our priority right. It's not, sometimes many times people say, we ask, chanting, Prabhu ji, time ही नहीं मिलता, life इतना busy है, time I have no time. But it's not about time management, it's about priority management. If we have the priority, we will get it done, we will do it. If we understand the importance, the significance of chanting, we understand that how chanting is non-different. Abhinnatvam nama namino. It's like personal association with Krishna, which is going to help us to save from this whole material miseries. Then somehow we will make it happen. And that is why it's called the priority management. We do not wait until we hear Krishna's flute. अरे ये गोपीज तो flute सुनती थी तब भागती थी, अभी मुझे तो सुनाई नहीं देता. But we have to wait. Krishna is calling us by holy name. We don't have to wait. When it's time to chant, everything else is on the side. All right, let's start with next one. Text number 30.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat pranam to all. Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 30. प्रयुक्तवान् भोजराजेन मायिनः कामरूपिणः लीलया व्यानुदात्तांस्तान् बालः कृदानकानिव. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Bhoja, Kamsa, to kill Krishna, but in the course of his pastimes, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nilimataji. Very nice recitation as well. So we
Thanks.
know how Kamsa planned to kill Krishna. In the jail itself, when he takes birth, Kamsa thought, I will kill him. But then later on, he got the information that Krishna has already escaped from the jail, and he went to Vrindavan. So what Kamsa did, he sent one by one different wizards, and that is what Uddhava is remembering while talking to Vidura here, that the great wizards who were able to assume any forms were engaged by the king of Bhoja, Kamsa, to kill Krishna. He was sending. Prabhupada list in the purport Agasura, Bakasura, Saktasura, Putna demon, Dhenukasura. One by one Kamsa was sending to kill Krishna. But what was happening? Instead of them killing Krishna, they were being killed by Krishna. It's very small baby boy, but they were killed by Krishna. What is Prabhupada? What the analogy is given as easily as, if you see the last line of the translation, as easily as a child breaks dolls. Prabhupada explains this analogy that as a child playing with the toys, sometimes it could be a toy lion or some animals in a toy form. The child is playing, but after a while they break the toy. In the same way, all these demons, great wizards, they were sent by Kamsa to kill Krishna. Krishna played with them and they break them. I mean, they killed them. That is what the analogy, like a child playing with a doll. That is how it was for Krishna killing all these demons. We see the list of, when we read the Krishna book, so many of you I know they have started reading Krishna book. Agasura, Bakasura, Saktasura, Putna demon, Dhenukasura, Trinavarta, all these different demons are one by one coming and Krishna killing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has compared all these different demons to the different anarthas in our life. For example, Putna demon, she came as a mother to give the milk, but she came as a to smearing a poison on her breast, and she came to kill Krishna. So Putna represents the false Dhongi Guru or pseudo Guru who can mislead the spiritual guidance. In the same way, Saktasura demon, the cart demon with the heavy load, that Saktasura demon, it represents the burden of our old habits, lethargy. Sometimes we are very lazy, and we have some conditioning, our old habits. So that Saktasura demon is compared to the old habits. And when we accept Krishna, when we keep Krishna in the center, how Krishna killed Saktasura demon, in the same way Krishna can help us save from our old habits and our old conditionings. Trinavarta demon going up in the sky very high, it represents the false pride or the false scholarship. Some people having some little knowledge, but they feel very proud of it, some degree or double PhD degree or whatever, or some highly intellectual arguments, and they represent false pride. But Krishna can smash the false pride. Yamala Arjuna trees in the Damodar pastime, Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they represents the pride from wealth. किसी के पास ज्यादा पैसा होता है. If someone has money, they become very proud. But Krishna can smash their pride. So the aristocracy or high birth or a prestige or a wealth, that what represents by Yamala Arjuna. The very important thing, what I personally like, is the forest fire. You know how Krishna, there was a forest fire and Krishna swallowed. That forest fire, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is comparing to that demon as the disagreement within devotees, the conflict between devotees. Yesterday we had in our gathering, we had a very nice exercise. We had a practical demonstration that how disagreement and conflict between devotees can be tackled with. Because why Bhaktivinoda Thakur is comparing with the forest fire? If there is a conflict between devotees, everything else will be devastated. Like a forest fire, everything is devastated. No one can control that forest fire. In the same way, the conflict or the disagreement between the devotees should be tackled right at the initial stage before it becomes too long. All right, so all these different wizards Uddhava is remembering, and Bhaktivedanta Thakur nicely explains all these things. We will see when we come to the pastimes in detail. Let's do text number 31. Today I want to complete this chapter.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat pranam to all. Vipannan vishapanena nigrahya bhujagadhipam utthapya payayat gavas tattoyam prakriti sthitam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The inhabitants of Vrindavana were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamuna was poisoned
by the chief of the reptiles, Kalia. The Lord chastised the snake's king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state. Hare Krishna.
Amazing. Srila Prabhupada doesn't write purport in this sloka, but we know such a beautiful, Bhujaga Adipam. Second line of the Sanskrit verse, Bhujaga Adipam, the chief of the reptiles, Kaliya snake pastime. We know. See, before in the previous verse, all the Agasura, Bakasura, Saktasura, Putana, all the demons, Dhenugasura, all were mentioned, the wizards which were sent by Kamsa. But in this one, it is separately mentioned about Kaliya snake. In previous verse, everyone in together in one verse. Here, Kaliya snake deserves the special verse, very different from others. Why? Because everyone else previously they were all killed by Krishna. But here, Kaliya snake was saved. Krishna didn't kill Kaliya snake. Why? He was transformed by Shri Krishna. Why he was transformed? Because of the prayers of Nagapatnis. They were devotees of Lord Shri Krishna. And when Krishna was dancing on the head, the hood of the serpent, Kaliya snake, the Nagapatnis offered the prayers. And because the devotees were praying for Kaliya, devotees were praying to Lord Shri Krishna, Krishna spared the life. Krishna did not kill Kaliya, but Krishna transformed the life and said, no, leave this Yamuna, you can go away to the Dvipa. But when the snake, they were worried, or the Nagapatnis, they were worried that, oh, Garuda will come and eat. And Krishna said, don't worry, tension nahi lene ka. I have danced on your hood and my footprints are there on your head. And when Garuda sees my footprints on your head, don't worry, Garuda will not bother you. So we understand, our safety is in the hands of devotees' prayers from this Kaliya snake pastime. When devotees are praying for us, Kaliya snake, when the devotees were, or the Nagapatnis were praying, Kaliya snake was saved. In the same way, our safety is in the hand of devotees. When the devotees are praying, we will be saved. And that's why, again, it's very important to have the good relationship with devotees, to have intimate few devotees in our life who can do prayers for us, and vice versa. We can do prayers for the other devotees because Krishna listens to the prayers. The prayers are answered. May not be straight away, may not be the way we like, but Krishna definitely hears the prayers. That's why he is a person. Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead. Prabhupada writes, Purna Purushottam. So he is a Purusha, he is a person. So he hears, he listens to the prayers, and he reciprocates based on what is best for us. And that's why it's very important to have prayers of devotees. Text number 32.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 32. Ayajayad Gosavena Goparajam Dviyottami Vitasya Choru Bharasya Chikrishan Sadvyayam Vibhu. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land and the cows, with the help of learned brahmanas. Hare Krishna.
Next one as well, it's same. Govardhan pastime. Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Next one, 33.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, text number 33. Varsatindre Vrajakopad Bhagnam Mane Tivibala Gotra Lila Tapatrena Trato Bhadranu Grahanata. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O sober Vidura, King Indra, his honor having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavan, and thus the inhabitants of Vraja, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from the danger with his pastime umbrella and Govardhan hill. Hare Krishna.
Jai Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. We know, Ek din man Indra ko maryo, नख ऊपर गोवर्धन धार्यो, नाम पढ़्यो गिरधारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. We know how beautiful Krishna lifts the Govardhan hill to save all the Brajvasis. What is the learning point from this one? We see that if you focus on the translation, even 33, 32 and 33, they were worshipping Indra out of fear. When Krishna said we should stop this because Indra is just doing duty. If you see the arguments, very beautiful when we recite it. Krishna is like a small boy and he's arguing. If Indra is really giving the rain, then why does he give the rain in the ocean and in the rivers as well? He should be giving the rain only to the field and the farms where it is required. वो तो मूर्ख है ऐसा राधा गोविंद महाराज से कृष्णा वाज कंप्लेनिंग. अगर इंद्रा ये सब करता है वो तो पागल है, पागल देवता है. उसको कैसे ओशियन में क्या आवश्यकता है बारिश की? व्हाट इज द नेसेसिटी ऑफ द रेन इन द ओशियन? एंड दैट्स हाउ बिग नाइस कन्वर्सेशन व्हेन वी कम. बट देन द Brajvasis, they say, nahi, if we stop this sacrifice, Indra will get upset. And that we learn from that it is they were worshipping or they were doing the rituals out of the fear, out of the fear that Indra will stop the rain. But Krishna said to worship the Govardhan hill because Govardhan is giving all the grass and all the necessities to the cows and all the Brajvasis. So Krishna is presenting the ritual, all the worship done out of love, while he was telling the rituals or the worship which is done out of fear that should be stopped. Even we see in today's world, there are many people who worship the Lord or the God and they do many rituals out of fear. अरे भगवान को इतना नहीं करेंगे then भगवान नाराज हो जाएंगे. Something bad will happen in our life, and out of that fear they give some donation to the temple, or once in a year on Janmashtami they come and have darshan to the temple. And they, if you see, I live near to the temple, people do all sort of things. They will do sit-ups and they will hold their ears and they will do like this. They do all different things out of fear. अरे मैंने गलती कर दिया भगवान, please forgive me, I'm sorry. And then they go back and do again same mistakes. Next month they come again and they again do this and they get sorry out of fear. And they may give some money as well. Oh Lord, please save me. I approach Lakshmi or the finances with all wrong, different intentions. But you please forgive me. You are great, Krishna. You can forgive us. Like that, out of fear. But we learn from this pastime. We do our service. We perform our chanting not out of fear, out of love for Lord Sri Krishna. Our religion, our process, our rituals and worship is based on love for Lord. Whatever we are doing, the service we are doing, the chanting we are doing, it's not based on fear. It's based on love. Because we love Krishna, that is why we are. Why to get worried? Many times people are scared to talk about what they are doing. डरने का क्या? जब प्यार किया तो डरना क्या? प्यार किया है कोई चोरी नहीं. Many times people after initiation also they don't tell their initiated name. Why to be worried? Fear क्यों है? हमने चोरी थोड़ा किया है, प्यार किया है. श्रीला प्रभुपाद के साथ प्यार किया है, गुरु महाराज के साथ. We are in love with Lord Shri Krishna. What is there to be fearful? The fear should be there if we are running away from Krishna. If we are coming closer to Krishna, he will take care of all the fear. We have to be fearless. Abhaya, Abhaya Charanaravinda. All the fear personified runs away from Krishna. That's why we don't have to be fearful. And here from this Govardhan pastime, of course, there are 100 different reasons or 100 different lessons what we learn from Govardhan pastime. But one of this, quickly, we can learn that our process, our worship, our rituals, whatever we are doing, must be out of love for Lord Sri Krishna, not out of fear. All right, let's do the last one. 34. Who is there? Anyone's name?
One is there till now.
34.
आप कर लो, whoever, माता जी.
Hare Krishna. सरचसीकरैर्मृष्टं मानयन् रजनीमुखं गायन् कालपदं रेमे स्त्रीणां मण्डलमण्डनः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the third season of the year, the Lord enjoyed as the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night brightened by moonshine. Hare Krishna.
And read the purport as well. It's very small.
Before leaving the land of cows, Vrindavana, the Lord pleased his young girlfriends, the transcendental gopis, in his Rasa Leela pastimes. Here Uddhava stopped his description of the Lord's activities. Thus ends, do you want to say, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Remembrance of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very nice. So, Uddhava, this is the last. He's remembering how Lord Sri Krishna pleased or attracting the assembly of women by his pleasing songs in an autumn night. And that's where Uddhava is stopping the Lord's pastime in Vrindavan. So next chapter, if you see, is the Lord pastimes out of Vrindavan. Now he continues with the different pastimes which happened outside Vrindavan. And then now Uddhava stops, and that's where the chapter number 2 ends. I heard one amazing lecture by Bhakti Padma Saurabh Pracharak Maharaj recently. And he was mentioning that when a devotee reads Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and he tries to do service of Lord Sri Krishna, even if that service have some imperfections, not nicely done, but when a devotee is sincerely reading the scriptures, Krishna accepts that service. On the other side, a person is doing very nice service, perfect, pakka, he will make very nice boga or something very opulent service. But if a person is not reading Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, Krishna will not accept that service. Initially, when they are beginning with the journey, it's okay. But when a devotee has grown into the spiritual path, and a devotee is not reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, then Krishna doesn't even accept the service, even though it is nicely done. On the other side, a person doesn't do nice seva, but reading Bhagavatam regularly, then Krishna will accept that service. And he gave a beautiful example as well. For example, a person comes, we invite a guest at our house, and the guest is sitting on the dining table. We make a very nice big feast, chappan bhog, pura 10 item bana diya, 7 course meal we have made very nicely. The person is sitting on the dining table, we put the plate and we don't talk to that person and we go for a walk. How that person will feel that he is not even no conversation with me. The guest is sitting on the dining table with all the we have made a nice feast, but we go for a walk. The person will feel very awkward. He will not even come next time. He will not even be looking forward to have that meal. But on the other side, if a person is cooking simple food, khichdi banaya sirf, usme bhi namak kam, the salt is less in that khichdi, but the person is sitting next to the dining table and talking very nicely to that person. How are you? Showing the love and care, and the conversation is happening and establishing very beautiful relationship with that person, even though that khichdi doesn't have enough salt and it's a simple food, but the person will be looking forward because there is a conversation, because there is a relationship to that. In the same way, Bhakti Padma Saurabh Pracharak Maharaj was explaining that when we read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we are developing relationship with Krishna. And when we develop the relationship, when we are having conversation with Krishna, even though our service may have little bit of imperfection or we don't do it rightly, Krishna accept that because we have the relationship with Krishna. But if we are busy and if we like go for a walk and not having the conversation with Krishna, then even though we cook a big meal, even though we do our service perfectly, Krishna is not looking forward to accept it. And we are very blessed with the association of devotees. We are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, developing the relationship with Krishna, developing the conversation with Krishna. And on top of that, we are doing our services nicely as well. So it's the best of everything. reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding message of Srimad Bhagavatam, having the association of devotees, and engaging ourselves in the service of Krishna. This is the full package we are receiving by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So thank you, dear devotees. We have completed second chapter. Tomorrow, Lords will continue sweet pastimes of the Lord out of Vrindavan. Let's see what Uddhava is remembering to Vidura. This Uddhava, Vidura and Maitreya conversation goes up to the end of fourth canto as well. Whole third canto, whole fourth canto is the conversation between Uddhava, Maitreya and Vidura. And that's why we see that how important it was for Vidura to not stay into the palace. And when he was insulted, he just stepped out. Otherwise, he could have stayed. But this meeting should be happened. And these two cantos, full third canto and fourth canto, they are all this conversation and which is part of Srimad Bhagavatam. And one by one verse, we learn so many different lessons for them. And that's why it is very important conversation, transcendental. And that's why Parikshit Maharaj is asking. That's why Sanaka Adi Rishi at the Naimisharana is asking, what was the discussion? Because they both were transcendentalists and the discussion must be transcendental as well. All right. Thank you, dear devotees. Any additions, corrections, feedback, comments?
Just had a question, Prabhuji, regarding the Krishna book, because it seems that a lot of most of the content of the Krishna book is actually mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
I have not read the Krishna book. If you could just tell us a bit more what additional things or what the differences between the Bhagavatam 10th canto and all these other things mentioned from the 10th canto to Krishna book.
Yeah, in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada, when he was writing Srimad Bhagavatam, this all the pastimes coming in the 10th canto. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to publish Krishna book first because it is the summary, not summary, it is the detailed description of all the pastimes which are mentioned. And Prabhupada refers to many other books as well of the bona fide acharyas. So compiling from all these different acharyas, Krishna's pastimes in all details, he summarized them and he put it in the flow, right, from the appearance and all the different pastimes in the Krishna book. I have heard some Maharajas saying that when Prabhupada started writing, translating Srimad Bhagavatam, he wasn't sure that he would be able to reach 10th canto because of his old age and because of his commitment of traveling all around the world. He was not sure he would complete. And that's why he wanted to present Krishna book first. And same with Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. He wanted to complete and present that. Srimad Bhagavatam, if he waits to complete, he wasn't sure. And that's why he presented such a sweet book, Krishna book. If someone if someone is interested in the pastimes, like they love Krishna Katha part and not the Tattva part, then you can really get absorbed. We have a group happening where they read Krishna book. So very nice. And here also to see here like Govardhan pastime, one sloka. Kalia pastime, one sloka. But it comes in the detail like chapters. We did Krishna and Sudama, 2 full chapters in the 10th canto like that. Okay. Hope you are getting the flow. What is happening with Bhagavatam and how Uddhava and Vidura met, right? Yeah, can understand the theme and the context, then it will be very easy. What is happening next?
Yes, Prabhu, we are all on the journey with you under your shelter.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you,
Thank you very much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.